Hi everyone. On October 5th, we've got a full moon in Aries at 12 degrees and 43 minutes. The key word that I think of when I think of Aries is courage. Courage comes from the Latin core, heart. To speak from the heart. This is what this full moon energy is encouraging you to do. Now, wherever it falls in your chart is showing you which life area you really need to become aware of and speak from your heart. So, for example, maybe it's falling in your fourth house of home. Maybe it's time to speak your heart to a family member. Maybe it's time to speak your heart in your environment, your home. When you walk into your home, do you feel as though your heart sings? When I walk into my home with these paintings that I've got everywhere, I say hello to them all and I feel very uplifted. It's like having people here. So what makes your heart sing? That would be a fourth house placement. Maybe it's in your sixth house. Maybe it's time to express from your heart to a colleague, to somebody you work with. It could be your seventh house. Being authentic in your relationships, and especially because at the time of this full moon, the Sun and Mercury are together in Libra, which is very much the relationship house. The relationships generally are opposite to this moon in Aries. So this is very much about looking at relationships, all your relationships, with people and with things, and with your work, and with your health, and with yourself. It's everything. And looking at whether you're being truthful. Are you being honest? Are you speaking what is real and what is real for you? As a Libra myself, it's often very difficult. I've had this disease to please all my life. And it's only now that I'm becoming much more aware of it and trying to change those patterns. So this pleasing may come up really strongly. You may notice yourself, oh, I'm just trying to keep the balance. I'm just compromising here. How much are you compromising to the detriment of your relationship and yourself? Are you staying in a marriage too long, knowing that it's really time to leave that marriage or that relationship? This full moon could well bring things to a head for you to have the courage to speak what is your truth. Now, the ruler of Libra is Venus, the ruler of Aries is Mars, and Venus and Mars happen to be conjunct at the time of this full moon in Virgo. When Venus and Mars come together, there is an opportunity for deep healing, especially in Virgo. First of all, to look at maybe where you're being too judgmental, too critical, and then maybe to release that, because often we're really critical on ourselves, even more than others. And as you can release self-judgment, you'll find that all your relationships can be soothed and healed. So there are some wonderful opportunities at the time of this full moon. It's really important to have the courage to step out. I'll tell you a funny story. I was messing around trying to do live stream, which I really want to do because I really want to do live stuff with you guys. And I'd been messing around with buttons for hours. And I just pressed something. And before I knew it, I was live. There were like 200 people speaking to me online. Hello, Barbara, hi, hi, hi. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm sitting here starkers. I didn't have a stitch of clothing on. And I'm live. And I thought, oh God, Luckily, the camera didn't turn on. So when you heard me say, for those of you who were online, oh my God, that's what was going on. So I will have the courage to try again, but what can you do where you have to muster up some more courage? Recently I went, this was another courage thing for me, a new friend invited me to go to Tinos Island with her, and she wanted me to share a room with her, and my first instinct was like, oh no, I think I need my own space. And obviously it wasn't meant to be, because when we got to Tinos there were no other rooms, and the room that I had reserved was so dirty and so awful. It was like, okay, I surrender and I'll share the room. And as it happened, it was fine. It was a challenge for me. I can't say that it was comfortable. It wasn't. And it was a good growth experience, because without moving through new experiences, you don't experience something entirely new for yourself. You don't find a facet of yourself that you didn't know you could do. And then on the way back, I was on my own on the boat, because she was staying a few extra days, in a Beaufort 8 gale wind. Now, I'm already nervous of boats a little bit anyway, but to have more than 4 hours in a gale force 8 was nerve-wracking. But I thought, no, I'm getting on that boat. It turned out to be 6.5 hours, and in Greek the word is skabanevasmata, which means that it was lurching from side to side. And I just kept breathing and I kept moving through it, and I thought, you know, I'm just going to stay with it. I mean, there was no choice anyway. What else was I going to do? Throw myself overboard? But anyway, the funny thing was that, you know, a few hours in, there's this announcement saying, ladies and gentlemen, the Goodies restaurant is now open. Kali Orixi. Good appetite, bon appetit. Well, for me that was hilarious. So there were some really good, funny moments from that, and I have to say I was very relieved to get to the port and put my feet on dry land. Often things can come to a head at the time of a full moon. We've been going through these. We had the Pisces full moon, the Virgo new moon. Everything to do with our earth is coming up. Lots and lots of things are coming up to do with the earth. And very sadly here in Greece, where I live, which is very close to the beach, there's been an oil spill. And I mean, it's going on everywhere. Hurricane Harvey, the Houston, Irma, earthquakes, all kinds of things are happening. I feel in preparation with this Uranus in Taurus, which is going to look at our values, what's important, what's really important. And I'm going to be doing some live streaming about all this. That's really what I want to say. Tune in with me. I hope you will. For a balanced view. Libra, nicey-nicey. Aries, this is how it is. Let's have that balance now. Because not everything is nice. Things have to be dealt with or faced. And equally, how are we going to bring about this peaceful world? So there's a lot of questions. I wouldn't be surprised if this full moon in Aries really brings up a lot of emotions, and it'll also bring up, maybe for you, where's my place in this? What am I doing here? And that too may come up. So these are my thoughts about this full moon in Aries. I'm very excited to hear your comments and feedback as always. And thank you very much for listening. I'm feeling sad at the moment because of what's happened to Greece. I can't deny it. It's right on my doorstep here, walking out and seeing the black on the beaches and the birds and the fish and just everything that goes with that. So I'm feeling that sadness, and it's also a call to action. And that's what I feel this full moon is about. The sadness, the anger, and what are we going to do about it? Inside, the internal journey, and then the external. I appreciate you listening. Bye for now.